Tonight on History's Greatest Mysteries, he was an action star, a cultural icon, and a martial arts legend on the brink of superstardom. I'm Lawrence Fishburne. On July 20th, 1973, Bruce Lee tragically passed away at the age of 32. The official cause of death: an adverse reaction to aspirin. In tonight's episode, Bruce Lee's surviving brother seeks answers about what truly happened. It was a complete shock. I mean, how could that happen? I need clarity about a person's death. Now, Robert Lee has enlisted a former Hong Kong police investigator to uncover the truth. Do you think foul play was involved? Good question. I'd really like to know. The mysterious demise of a true action star. Who or what caused the death of the only Bruce Lee? On July 20th, 1973, Bruce Lee was in Hong Kong, eagerly awaiting the release of the movie he believed would catapult him to global fame. Warner Brothers presents Enter the Dragon. Produced with one of Hollywood's most prominent studios, he knew this film could define or derail his career. Less than a month before the movie's debut, Bruce Lee complained of a headache, took a painkiller, lay down for a nap, but never woke up. His sudden death shocked all of Hong Kong. One day, he was alive, thriving, and on the verge of achieving his lifelong dreams, and the next, he was gone. How could their hero have died so unexpectedly? With assistance from Bruce's brother, Robert Lee, Chan has obtained files that might reveal the truth. Enclosed in this envelope are Bruce Lee's death records, official documents from the court inquiry into his passing. These documents include his autopsy report, toxicology analysis, and statements from witnesses, law enforcement, and medical professionals. The Hong Kong government has never publicly disclosed these records. At his office, Chan meticulously examines the evidence. I'm searching for discrepancies in the accounts of that day and for any decisions that seem unusual, questionable, or warrant further scrutiny. He constructs a timeline of the day Bruce Lee died. On July 20th, 1973, Bruce arrives at the residence of his alleged mistress, Betty Ting Pei, at 5 p.m., but he isn't alone. With him is Raymond Chow, Bruce Lee's business associate and producer for Enter the Dragon. What I'm trying to determine is what Betty Ting Pei and Raymond Chow claim transpired in the apartment that evening. According to both witnesses, the three gathered to discuss the script for Bruce's next project, Game of Death, a follow-up to Enter the Dragon. At 7 p.m., Bruce complains of a headache. Betty provides him with a painkiller that contains aspirin. Bruce lies down to rest, and Raymond leaves for dinner, leaving Bruce and Betty alone in the apartment. At 9:30 p.m., Raymond calls to check on Bruce. Betty informs him that she cannot wake Bruce up. If you found someone unconscious and unresponsive, your immediate reaction would be to call for emergency services. However, that's not what happened. Raymond told authorities he hurried back to the apartment and attempted to summon medical assistance, but not an ambulance. Instead, he repeatedly called his personal doctor, who did not respond. Eventually, he contacted Betty's physician. 10 minutes later, Dr. Eugene Chu arrived to find Bruce unresponsive, with no pulse or signs of breathing. Despite attempts at CPR, he was unable to revive him. It was Dr. Chu who finally called for an ambulance. Bruce wasn't taken to the hospital until 11 p.m., over an hour after he was initially found unconscious. He was officially pronounced dead at 11:30 p.m. When the public discovered Bruce Lee died in Betty Ting Pei's apartment, she quickly became a prime suspect. The scenario involving Bruce and Betty was likened to a classic locked room mystery. Bruce, Raymond, and Betty were together in the apartment. Raymond departed, leaving Betty and Bruce alone. Bruce later died. The assumption was that since Bruce was the one who ended up dead, Betty must have been responsible. Betty's lifestyle only added to public suspicion. She was known for associating with a fast crowd and being involved in the darker side of Hong Kong's entertainment industry and underworld. However, she wasn't the only person present that night. Raymond Chow was also at the apartment. Why did Raymond delay getting Bruce the urgent medical attention he needed? Over time, questions have been raised about his involvement in Bruce Lee's death. Raymond's reputation as a shadowy figure, a manipulative and untrustworthy character, comes from his role in the high-stakes world of show business. Raymond built Golden Harvest Studios from the ground up, transforming it into one of Hong Kong's leading film studios. Yet his ambition earned him a reputation for being ruthless. Known as the smiling face tiger, he would smile and nod in agreement, but betray you behind your back. Raymond and Bruce had collaborated on 3 films prior to Enter the Dragon. All 3 were box office hits in Hong Kong. However, in the months leading up to Bruce's death, tensions between them escalated over financial disputes. Bruce grew increasingly frustrated with what he perceived as misleading accounting practices and felt he hadn't received his fair share of the profits. He confronted Raymond directly, demanding answers. In response, Bruce began negotiating with other studios, threatening to cut ties with Golden Harvest. This put Raymond at risk of losing his most valuable star. While public suspicion continues to surround both Raymond Chow and Betty Ting Pei, authorities in 1973 ultimately cleared them of any wrongdoing. They concluded there was no evidence of foul play. This verdict rested on a critical assumption, that the fatal swelling of Bruce Lee's brain was caused by the aspirin in the painkiller he took. But does the evidence support this claim? Chan consults Dr. Philip Baer, one of Hong Kong's leading forensic pathologists, who has uncovered something intriguing. The painkiller Equagesic that Betty gave Bruce wasn't something he typically used, Dr. Baer explains. Equagesic, used to relieve headaches, contains aspirin and another drug called meprobamate. The real question boils down to these 2 substances. In 1973, it was concluded that Bruce Lee's death was triggered by aspirin. However, there is no scientific proof that he had a reaction to this common drug. Aspirin is widely used today for preventing strokes and heart attacks, so that leaves us with meprobamate. Meprobamate, a tranquilizer once popular in the U.S. during the 1950s, was prescribed under the brand name Miltown to millions for anxiety and stress relief. However, it has since been banned in several countries due to its harmful side effects. There are reports of individuals experiencing unpredictable, severe reactions to meprobamate, sometimes resulting in death. These reactions are rare and difficult to foresee, Dr. Baer notes. He believes Bruce Lee was one of the unfortunate exceptions. The meprobamate caused Bruce's brain to swell, ultimately leading to his death. It was a tragic accident caused by a single tablet. This revelation marks the first time meprobamate has been implicated in Bruce Lee's death. Advances in medical science since 1973 now make this theory plausible. Ultimately, the investigation concludes that Bruce Lee's death was a heartbreaking accident. His fate was sealed the moment he took the Equagesic pill. For Chan, this is the end of his inquiry. However, he must share the findings with Bruce's brother, Robert Lee. Reflecting on that fateful day, Robert listens as Chan explains. The only unusual thing that happened on July 20th, 1973, was Bruce taking 1 Equagesic tablet. This pill contained not just aspirin but also meprobamate, which, as modern research shows, can have fatal consequences for certain individuals. Although this wasn't known at the time, it seems clear that this reaction was what caused your brother's death. It was an incredibly tragic accident, but I can assure you he passed away peacefully and without pain. Robert Lee responds with gratitude. Thank you for giving me closure. The enigma of Bruce Lee's death has always been a topic of speculation and conspiracy theories. But this investigation, grounded in scientific analysis, provides a definitive answer. After nearly 5 decades, Robert Lee now knows how his brother, one of the greatest martial arts stars of all time, truly met his end.